The holiday season can be a lonely time if you don't have family close by. So what can you do to help get you through this time of year when you're feeling that isolation?
Yeah, we're going to be checking in with psychologist Dr. Laura Saunders to find out. Good morning, Dr. Saunders. How are you today, and happy holidays?
Happy holidays. Hello, friends. Happy Thursday, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Yeah, we're talking about loneliness today, and I think it's a little bit more prevalent than people might think. A lot of people out there, especially at this time of year, they can definitely feel lonely. Is it true more this time of year than at other times?
Well, I think because there's so much highlighting of family time and
Right.
togetherness, and I rail against all the Hallmark movies, but so loneliness becomes more obvious to the self. It also is a time when people who've had losses, really reflect and highlight on those losses. So there's really a lot of reflection that happens this time of year anyway. And so for those people that feel more lonely or feel more isolated or are disconnected from their families, it can really be a emotionally painful time of year.
Especially with divorce too, you
Oh,
know.
it's so tough.
That is
Right.
so tough when you're going back and forth between two different families, and it's a lot, and it compounds, like you said, Dr. Saunders, with the holidays. So how can your self-talk help combat those feelings of isolation at the holidays? How can we keep that loneliness at bay?
So what we want to do is when that negative self-talk starts, it's only me, or nobody likes me, or this, I don't have any relationships in my life. So it's really kind of shifting that self-talk and trying to do things that it doesn't have to be overly positive, but at least neutral. This is just, we're almost towards the end of December. I can get through this month. I can do something positive to help myself. I mean, I want people to shift that narrative and do something, either do something for others by volunteering, tap into their creativity, writing, reading, drawing, coloring, doing puzzles, doing
Yep.
something that kind of taps into that inner creativity.
You say loneliness can be subjective. You can be surrounded by family and friends and yet still feel isolated. Is that true?
Yes, I mean, it's really about emotional connection, right? If I could be in a room full of people, but if people don't know that there's something that's bothering me, or I've just had a difficult day at work, if you don't make the effort to emotionally connect with people and let people know what's going on in your inner emotional experience, then you will feel isolated in a room full of people.
How can being a little lonely sometimes actually be good for you, though?
Well, we can use it as a time for reflection, and to turn that reflection into making life changes, or just changing one habit, right? Sometimes it's a daunting task to change your whole life. So just look at changing one habit, and also kind of making some peace with your loneliness. You are not alone. 1 in 4 families have some type of estrangement, and you're not alone. So finding ways to reach out, making an effort to connect with one person can really do a lot to just lessen that loneliness even a little bit.
And I have one more question, Dr. Saunders. Like we were talking about this time of year when we lose our loved ones, it really, really compounds the holidays. What about for those family members and friends that say they want to be alone on the holidays? Do you have any advice? You don't want to push too much, but how do you handle those situations?
So I wonder in those situations kind of what the inner motivation is. Are they isolating because they're kind of punishing themselves? Is that kind of isolation a way to push people away? Is it really a sign of a deeper depression? So I'd want to kind of push back a little bit and explore that and understand it. Is it just they don't want the big hubbub of a holiday, or they really just want some alone time, but then they're willing to connect right around the holidays? So I'd want a little pushback on that to understand it better.
Okay.
All right. Well, happy holidays to you, Dr. Saunders. We'll see you in 2023 with some advice on getting motivated to take advantage of the opportunities a new year can offer.
Yes, you will see me in 2023. Happy holidays, happy new year, and sending a shout out to my kids, Dennis and Isabel, for this holiday season.
All right. Good to
Thank
see you.
you.
As always, thanks for the advice.
See you next